is going to start talking to your Facebook listeners shortly. So in the meantime, let me go and young tight. All right, you're live on Facebook. I want to say special good evening to all the Facebook listeners. Welcome, good people, to the Fiery Zone. Right here on UVC Radio, the sound of binding us together. But you know what? Enough of me, good people. We're going to let the man who was in the helm of everything right now take full control. Fonso Black, talk to the people live on Facebook. In the meantime, between time, until we get to the studio.
Pleasant good afternoon to all my Facebook listeners, wherever you are in the world. This is Fonso Black, representing for the Fiery Zone on your number one station, UVC Radio, the sound that binds us together. Well, today marks a very important day in the Black history, and we're going to be talking about that, Facebook listeners. In the meantime, I would like to introduce to you my guest here, all the way from California. He is from the beautiful island of Kingston, Jamaica. Yes, and we're talking about the man, Sky High, the Mau Mau. Sky High, welcome to Facebook. Say hello to Facebook.
Love and love to Facebook and the world. One love to the world. Same way. Give your praises in this time. In this time of living, we have to give your praises every moment we live and every time we rise in the morning, and go back to sleep in the night. Before we sleep, I will give the praises, because the world is on edge right now. Coronavirus everywhere.
That's for sure. So much is happening Sky High, with the whole passage of COVID-19, so we have to give praises. In the meantime, again, we have in studio, yes, all the way from Hartford, Connecticut. He's no stranger to UVC, of course. I would like to take time to introduce to Facebook, R.D. Cuban. R.D. Cuban, welcome to Facebook.
Blessings, Rastaman. Blessings to the two Rastaman, Sky High and Fonso Black. And also, Rocco. Big up yourself for being the technical genius today to have us here,
Absolutely, guys. And we know this month we're celebrating reggae and, of course, Black history. Yes, Sky High, do you want to talk a bit more about that to the Facebook listeners? Black history, Black consciousness. What does Black consciousness means to you, Sky High, as a Rastaman?
Well, we all rise from a civilization from Africa, and origination from Africa. So that's where my Black history is, an African history. That's where it rides. So that's where the journey lies. But we can talk about a day like today now. See, day like today is also a sad time in my history, because the name Mau Mau come from Kenya, Dedan Kimathi. Mau Mau, original leader, Rastaman, that stand forth, defending the land in Kenya, Africa. The British sent 100,000 soldiers in Kenya in 1956 and hung him on this day, which is the 18th of February, 1957. So that's a part of my journey as a Jamaican, originate from Africa. So that's a part of my great history month of history. 18th of February 1957. They hung this great man defending the land in Kenya, Africa.
Right. And at this point, I would like to introduce to Facebook, The World by Extension, a song that has been produced by Sky High, the Mau Mau, a true representation of what transpired back on February the 18th of the year, 1957. We would like now to present to you Invasion by Sky High, the Mau Mau. And of course, whilst our technicians is getting the song together, you know what I mean, it is a sad day for all Black people because a lot of people died. Quite a few people died. And it's sad for the reason those people had to die as well.
Yes, for them own land, you know. Kenya was the British paradise, great British paradise in Africa, Kenya. Even the Queen of England that ruling right now was in Kenya. When her father died in 1953, she leave Kenya, come over to England, come crown the Queen of England. Yes.
Absolutely. Wow.
That's really, yeah.
And it is, and the word Mau Mau, for those who may not know Sky High, because you know, it is not a word that is commonly used. Can you explain to our listeners on Facebook, what does Mau Mau simply means?
The name Mau Mau is the original freedom fighter in Kenya, Africa. Didan Kimati, Didan Washovu Kimati, the Mau Mau original leader, Rastaman, defending his own land in Africa from the British Empire. And they come into Africa and capture this man. 7 years in Kenya, 7 years state of emergency, 7-year concentration camp in Kenya. Yes, okay, so original Didan Kimanti as a Rasta man, freedom fighter defending the land. And they catch him in the 19th of October, 1956. And they hung this great man on the 18th of February, 1957, like today. So the journey, I take on the name from Jamaica, in Jamaica as Mau Mau, in my tradition of history as a Jamaican, originate from Africa to the slave trade of the British, them same way. That's it. That's why we need man like Marcus Garvey named to be a lift, because Marcus Garvey was our great tradition prophet of the Western Hemisphere. Marcus Messiah Garvey from Jamaica. Yes.
Right, and just before we get live on UVC Radio, the Cuban, what are your thoughts on Black consciousness? You as a Black person, what does it mean to you, the Cuban?
Well, what it meant to me is spiritual beginning, spiritual journey, biblical proportion. So therefore, I can't speak without I mention our ancestor, King David, who wrote the book of Psalms with many great songs like Rivers of Babylon, King Solomon, hence the tribe that we came from. That's what it meant to me.
Wow, amazing. So we could see Black people, we are coming from a far away. We are coming from a place that a lot of people lost their life, you know what I mean, back in the day. And like Sky High clearly said what transpired on that brutal day, 1957, 18th of February. It's the same date as today. How ironic is that?
And it's been transferred into our island of Jamaica after King Selassie I visit Jamaica, down in Montego Bay, Coral Garden, Jamaica. History shows that the Bustamante, the prime minister at that time, he ordered the security forces, police and soldier, to bring in all Rastaman dead or alive and their children. Sky High, I know you have vivid memory of this. And if that was not bad enough for the Rastaman and the black people of our island, they went up into Kingston afterwards in Warwick Hill, where they sprayed the hill with gas and oil, lit the hill afire to burn out the great Rasta men, women, and children up there. I will never forget.
Probably at this point, Sky High could elaborate a bit more on that experience.
Yes. And do you know what's happened? Do you know what's happened in those same times? You see, the Queen of England tell Haile Emperor Haile Selassie must denounce Rasta in Jamaica in 1956 also, because they believe Rasta in Jamaica linked with Did and Kim Hardy as the original Rasta man in Kenya when the struggle going on, when all defending the land, you know. So everything was right in the circle. The Queen of England tell His Imperial Majesty must denounce Rasta in Jamaica.
They deem the Rasta men, women, and children and give them a title as not Rastafarian, but as Blackheart man. And that's when they start to brainwash the Caribbean people about the true Rastafarian and what Rastafarian is all about. Ras mean head, Tafari mean creator of the Holy Trinity.
Yes.
And as we are with Rocco, I'm not sure if because we're going to be going live on air in a minute. Rocco, are you there? Since we haven't able to get Rocco, but in the meantime, yeah. So we want to focus about Marcus Garvey as well, because Marcus Garvey was a very important man in Jamaica, and Marcus Garvey was one of the persons who've led the freedom of black.
Not in Jamaica, in the world.
America, but I'm saying that he's from Jamaica. He's from Jamaica.
Marcus Garvey taught Martin Luther King how to be the great civil rights leader with the Back to Africa movement.
Definitely.
Malcolm X mother and father was also with Marcus Garvey organization in America.
Right. So Sky High, what does Marcus Garvey mean to you as a black man, as a Rasta man?
Marcus Garvey meant in my Western Hemisphere, I rise underneath the tradition of Marcus Garvey. You see it? Marcus Garvey, become my spiritual leader rising in myself, you know, because Marcus Garvey said 1927, we must look over to Africa where a new king soon be crowned. And in 1930 was Haile, the greatest our God on earth, King Selassie I, Rastafari, all nations come to Ethiopia and bow before Haile Selassie I's majesty and bow before him. He's coming from the 100 and hard, throne of King Solomon come right down, you see. And that's what Ethiopia is right now. You see, Ethiopia is the only place where never been conquered. You see, until Italy invaded in 1936 and be there for 4 years and have to leave it. And when men go and that's how it is right now. But Ethiopia is a cradle of civilization.
Now, Facebook listeners from all across the world, wherever you are listening to this program, this marks a very important moment in the lives of reggae lovers. Apart from this month celebrate Black History, we also celebrate the month of reggae. We saw the birth of Bob Marley in this month as well. Now, Sky High the Mama, he's been around for quite some time. He also had the opportunity to tour with the Marleys, Burning Spear, just to name a few. So at this point, I'll invite Sky High to tell us more along that journey and how it all started for him.
Rastafari, everything starts from Rastafari. From a little boy, I come from the countryside in Jamaica named Clarendon. And I come to Kingston to see myself when I was 13 years old, leave high school and said, okay, just from 1967, I don't leave downtown Kingston until in the 80s. Understand? Because that's where the journey of music started amongst us. From Mentos, ska, rock, steady to reggae. So when I come in music, it was rock, steady and ska going on. A man like Dera Wilson, Slim Simit, yes, Ken Booth, all those artists, Halton Ellis, Desmond Deck and the Yeses, you see Bob Marley and the Wailers, Peter Touch and Bunny. So that's where my journey began amongst all these Halton, great Jamaica.
Now, one of the person that you mentioned, Sky High, was Bob Marley, the legendary Bob Marley. Now, for most people, they see Bob Marley, they see the image, they see the face, they see that man on the stage, they see that superstar, but yet still, they don't know that man behind when he's not on stage. So we would like to ask you, because you would have had direct contact with Bob Marley, on a day that he's not on stage performing, what sort of person that Bob Marley was in the midst of you?
Bobby was just my bridge, and they call him Skipper, When Bobby, we grew downtown, He left, after I get uptown place from Chris Blackwell Island House, we start to go up. I start to go uptown and lots of Rasta in the evening. So they always said, Bob Marley bring the Rasta them from downtown to uptown. Yes, we're moving the ghetto from downtown to uptown. So Bob Marley place become one of my HQ in Jamaica. Yes, since 1974, from 73, but since 1974, that place become like one of my uptown HQs. So when I close downtown, don't sell record in the evening, uptown, up to Bob Marley place, So we hang out. Bob Marley just a reasonable cultural, want to hear what's happening, our bridging, it's just like anyone we talk to, Jacob Miller, everybody around it. See Burning Spear, everybody. That's how his journey go. But Bob Marley was Bob Marley, but it was just on his mission. And that's how it is, Everyone have a mission, but it was himself, on a level,
Would you describe Bob Marley as a shy man or a outgoing person?
No, Bob Marley was not shy guy. No. We cool it between ourselves,
Right.
But my, a Buffalo soldier, you understand? Yeah, as well as, a man was a Bob Marley, man, We reasoned many nights, about the journey of Africa. That's what our journey was all about, 3/4 of our journey. Bob says, Sky, I want to them. A ship and plane, we want to take back our people to Africa, back and forth to the sky. I want to do that, that's how we want to live, but the journey of Bob, in the physical life and earth, cut short at 36 years old. So I, as a Rasta youth, I take half of Bob's life and my journey, because if any money could buy Bob's life to come back on earth in the physical, it would be amongst us. So that physical structure left, and then let the families them know to take care. I assist the families from 1981. Rita Marley. When the lay Bob to rest, come Rita Marley as Bob wife, going to sing Wanja,
And Sky, just before you get into that part of the story, we have obviously here R.D. Cuban, and R.D. Cuban would have had direct contact with Bob Marley as well from the early 70s. So I would like to ask, RD Cuban, apart from this superstar that we all see on stage, and we all see his posters on the walls, so we want to go behind this image. We want to understand who was Bob Marley in his quiet days, who was Bob Marley on a normal day. So RD Cuban, what did you say to that?
The Bob Marley that I know and that I know about from 1974, you understand? When him and Peter Tosh did that last performance out in California after the Wailers broke up, that Bob Marley that I'm speaking about is a quiet, kind, gentle Rasta man. He's all about biblical proportion. He loves his family. He loves Sky High as well. So my journey and Sky High journey begins deep, deep, deep. 1975, I brought Bob Marley to Connecticut to perform downtown Hartford at the Bushnell with the I-Trees. That was my first live concert I ever performed in my life. And it was just a great thing because when Bob Marley got to Hartford, the first thing that he asked for is a pot. You understand? As a promoter, I'm telling you from the promoter side, that works shoulder to shoulder with him when he arrives in town. He asks for a pot and he cooks. It's not like today artists that want to go to five-star hotel and all that and per diem and them foolishness. Bob Marley cooks, even though he have his own cook, but he cooks. You understand? Very good cook too. And he was very humble. He treated me like a son. You understand me? And that's the Bob Marley I know. Sometimes he could be very quiet. I believe that Sky I could tell you the same thing. You understand me? But very conscious. Love his music. Yeah. So from that day on, Jah leads me to Sky High. And me and Sky High been connecting ever since that until today on your radio program.
Definitely.
Where today, after Bob Marley passed away, I did Bob Marley twice in Connecticut. 1975, Natty Dread Tour. I was the one who produced and promoted that concert at the Bushnell Theater. 1978, Bob Marley dropped the Kaya album. They called me and asked me to bring it to Connecticut. I brought it to Pinecrest Country Club, which is historical because Panso Black, that was the first outdoor concert in Connecticut history, in Shelton, Connecticut. And then after Bob Marley passed away, Sky High, Sky High is always presented to give me that support as a promoter, and he the producer. And I cherish that for the rest of my life because in 1986, the great historical moment is not even because I end up being the promoter that brought Bob Marley mother. Ziggy Marley was 18, Stephen Marley was 16, Rita Marley, Marcia Griffiths, Nadine Sutherland, Judy Mowat, 809 band to Hartford, Connecticut to perform. But that night was a historical moment because I got arrested. I went to jail for the first time in my life because of that concert. And Sky High and Ziggy Marley, Sky High and Ziggy Marley was the one that came down to the Morgan Street jail to bail me out. So that's a big honor, man, to have Ziggy Marley and Sky High to bail me out of jail. You remember that, Sky High?
Yes, true, but around 3 o'clock in the morning after we go to the hotel, we go back to the jail and they tell us, and now we still get 10 more minutes, all of us coming in the jail. So it's just to believe we lined it up for Cuban and our stage manager, Garden, forget bail. Yeah.
Now that's quite interesting. So let's take us back because we don't want to miss any part of the story to the Facebook listeners. So we want to go back with your involvement with the Marley Sky High because you were responsible. You were that road manager for the Marleys, Damian Marley, Stephen Marley, Ziggy Marley, for many, many years.
And personal security.
And personal security, yes. Not forgetting that. Personal security. Yes. You're going to be hearing more about that. How did it all started for you, Sky High? How did you get that opportunity to become the road manager for the Marleys for many years?
No, that's another. That's how I really had that journey. As what I said in two things right now. I go back into this right now. I have a book called Life Journey, a photo book called Life Journey. It is out right now. You understand? On Amazon and Barnes and Noble, Sky High Ma website. See? Name Life Journey, Sky High the Mama. I want you to have that book and view it for the journey that I coming from, you know. And then also a next book coming soon named Life is a Journey. It's very sure of my autobiography. So those are two books. The world must get this year, you know. Because for one to really know about Sky High the Mama. Sky High the Mama, I have a label out there in the world from 1974 named Sky High Label. From 1974. Yes. I bring artists like from Gladiators coming up, Flabba World. You see, yeah, coming right up. I bring Luciana. When I recorded Luciana, I was the first one. First song I hear of Luciana, the song that I produced, them Love Take You, I had the first song. And then I play all those journeys. With the Marleys, I've been around the Marleys as what I say, Peter Touch was my friend, Virgin. Bob Marley was my Virgin. Bunny Wheelers was my Virgin. We all grew down to Alton Harris was my Virgin. You see, Eptones, Leroy, Sippers are my Virgin. You see, Judy Moore, I'm my sister. Marcia Griffith, I'm my sister. Rita Marley, I'm my sister. I know Rita Marley from 69. 68, 16, they must know. So that's how the journey. So that's how the journey.
And if at this point, we just want to see if Rocco is broadcasting us live on UVC, and if Rocco can you let us know if you see actually broadcasting live?
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
So at this time, you want to take in a song by you want to take a song by Sky High, and that's Deja, because today again marks a very important day, and Sky High has a song that represents what transpired back in 1957. So go ahead, Rocco, to give us that song by Sky High, the Mama. By Sky High, the Mama.
Emergency. All right.
Emergency.
You're alive, yeah? Yeah, listen.
State of emergency. Mau mau. Let me hear. Mau mau. Dependent Kenya, Africa, India, guns and bombs, fireplay, destruction, illusion, invasion, mau mau, hey, take away the land, mau mau, the reader, state of emergency, mau mau, let me hear, concentration camp, mau mau, let me hear.
You're live in the mix. When it's a special good evening to all of our Facebook family. What's going on, peeps? Fire Zone.
Guns and bombs, warning, destruction, war of destruction. Kenya, Mama, freedom.
course, thank you so much for that. This was, you know, I mean, of course.
It's your song. Children, mama, mama, children, mama, dying, dying, torturing, children of mine, dying, dying, torturing, so 7 years, state of emergency, mama, 7 years, concentration camp, mama.
Of course, Facebook.
All right, you're back. You're back. So.
Of course, Facebook listeners, UVC listeners, wherever you are, you just heard the voice of Sky High, the Mau Mau Emergency. Of course, that song would reflect what transpired on that brutal day of February the 18th, 1957. Sky High, what meds? When did you record that song and what meds were you in when you record that song? What kind of energy were you feeling?
I feel deep, but deep between myself. This journey is a journey, as what I said. I take on the journey of Mau Mau from early 70s. Winston Bradley Burning Spears be my virgin. It's the name Burning Spear. Winston Bradley as Burning Spear. Burning Spear, the original Burning Spear was Jomo Kenyatta in Kenya. And so, yeah. So Dedan Kimathi was a Rasta man, as even Jomo Kenyatta was a Mau Mau too. But after they come up from England and the British said, "You're talking about Mau Mau, we're going to put you in prison." The British put him in prison and told him, say, "No, you denounce that name, Mau Mau. We will let you out after a few years." And the Rasta man, the Western man, Dedan Kimathi, he stay in the hill and hear that his brethren Jomo Kenyatta denounced him as a Rasta man. Then, yes, he was very sad. So those are the whole journey of Africa as a Mau Mau. Dedan Kimathi as the original Rasta. You see, he helped send Jomo Kenyatta to England too. That's what the journey is. But Jomo Kenyatta denounced the Rasta. When Jomo Kenyatta get president in around 1960 something, it told the world, it told all stadium and the world that Mau Mau them are free and come out of concentration camp. And I have a 50mm video where there's a portion of Rasta man stepped in the stadium and said, "Mr. Jomo Kenyatta, why you did denounce us? There's a lot of Mau Mau still in prison and concentration camp." So those are the history, what it takes me to write a song like Mau Mau Emergency, 7 years state of emergency, 7 years state concentration camp, you know.
Lovely Facebook, lovely Facebook. Yes, a beautiful history there coming from the man himself, Sky High, the Mau Mau. You heard the inspiration behind the song. Another song we want to take our attention to, because we spoke on the topic earlier, is of Marcus Garvey, you know. And Marcus Garvey have inspired us all across the world, not just in Jamaica and the Caribbean, but the world by extension. So I would like for Rocco now, our engineer, to play us a Garvey chant. And this song is a true representation for Black consciousness.
Yes, sir.
And of course, whilst Rocco is trying to get that song, yes, that song that was just sung there by Garvey chant.
You can enslave us with under 300 years of bodies of men. You can shackle the hands of men. You can shackle the feet of men. You can imprison the bodies of men, but you cannot shackle the prison. Capable of. They do not know what they're thinking. They're thinking in terms of dreadnoughts, battleships, airplanes, submarines. You know what we're thinking about? That is our own private business. Black men in Ethiopia, Timbuktu, Alexandria gave the light of devotion to this world. Ethiopia shall stretch forth her hands unto God, and princes shall come out of Egypt. Because classes, nations, races have been quite for over 4 centuries, who have merely borne abuse, insult, humiliation, whose forbearance can only be compared to the prophet Job, as likewise lifted his bowed head and raised it up to God's skies and cried out, I am a man, and demand a man's chance and a man's treatment in this world. That's just teach the black man. I will teach a black man to see beauty in his own kind and stop bleaching his skin and otherwise looking like what he's not. African freedom, African freedom, stand them down, stand them down. God made man to this creation, in possession and ownership of the world. And you have been so darn lazy that you have allowed a fellow to run away with the whole world, and now he's bluffing you and telling you that the world belongs to him and that you have no part in it. I don't have to apologize to anybody for being black, because God Almighty knew exactly what he was doing when he made me black. If black people knew their glorious past, then they would be more inclined to respect themselves. Yes, you heard of Johnny Walker Red and black. Well, he had his adversity, but he's still going strong. Well, I intend with your help and God's grace to continue, because my work has only just begun. And future generations shall have in their hands the guide by which they shall know the sins of the 20th century. I know and I know you too believe in time, but we shall wait patiently for 200 years if need be to face our enemies through our posterity. When my enemies are satisfied, in life I shall come back, or in death even to serve you as I served before. In life I shall be the same, in death I shall be a terror to the whole. The real Marcus Garvey would like to be. If I may come in and not a plague or a pestilence, or as God would have me, then be assured that I shall never desert you and make your enemies triumph over you. Will I not go to hell a million times for you? If I die in in the physical, I want to see the day of Africa blue. Then I am there, wrap the mantle, the red, the black, and the green around me. For a new life, I shall rise. To lead the millions of hearts in the power that you will know. Look for me in the world when I was found. Look for me all around you. On a God's grace, I shall come back with countless millions of black men and women who have died in America, those who have died in the West Indies, and those who have died in Africa to aid you in the fight for liberty, freedom, and life. African freedom, African freedom and liberty. Chant them down, chant them down. Gabby, Gabby, but I am them down, 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 down. The universities have Babylon did it, Assyria did it, France under Napoleon did it, Germany under England under America under George Washington did it, Africa with 400 million black people can do it. If you cannot do it, if you are not prepared to do it, then you will die. You raise the colors, you raise the imbeciles, you raise the good for nothing. If you don't do what other men have done, what other nations have done, what other races have done, then you have better die. Teach them, Gabby, teach them. Want them, Gabby, want them. Tell them, Gabby, tell them. Chant them down. Chant them down. Gabby, Marcus, Gabby.
Of course, yes, Facebook. Yes, Facebook. We've seen another production by Sky High Label. This one is coming from Sky High Label, and this one is called Gavi Chant. And it's a true representation of the Black movement all across the world. I am Fonsa Black, right here, broadcasting live on UVC Radio, and we also streaming on Facebook. Yes, people, and we are talking to Sky High, the Mau Mau, yes, and of course, legendary promoter, RD Cuban. And as we celebrate Black history and the month of reggae. So let's go back to the story. Let's go back to 1986. 1986 was a big year in terms of reggae. There was a world tour was planned. And part of that we had involved was RD Cuban, along with Sky High, the man himself. He was the road manager, the person who managed those artists on that world tour in 1986, sorry. So let's invite Sky High to tell us the planning stage. What was it like during the planning stage to take on that world tour that we saw people enjoying in 1986? Sky High, over to you.
It's a little bit mixed because that wasn't, I wasn't planned that tour. See, that was the plan. I was a youth in personal security. Ziggy Marley in personal security and roadie. So the tour manager, that Copeland. So Copeland was one of the tour managers on that tour. You know. So, but that was what Cuban tell about a show in Connecticut during the tour. You understand? That was during the tour. You know. So that was Cuban show in Connecticut. So that's what he was talking about. What happened that night, you know? But
you was there on that day, on that night in 1986.
And that night, yes, it was stampede that night, yes, and lots of police. We have to take the artists off the stage. You know, Ziggy Marley, the makers, and as far as we going back to the hotel, there was police car. There was so much stampede going on at that night. You know, people start to fling back and Cuba ended up in jail and what. our stage guys end up in jail to Flash, you know. So that's what it was, you know, at that time. But that show was Cuban show.
Right,
Yeah.
Cuban. Yes,
Yeah.
what a thing to be arrested on a big night like that in 1986. Oh my day, this is unfortunate. Cuban, what did you feel? What was your what was going on in your head when you actually got arrested?
Well, first of all, the Rasta man, women and children always been getting a fight from the beginning of 1966. So that pans over. In 1986, America was still in depth in racism. America did not understand about Caribbean people, did not understand about black people, did not understand about Jamaican dialect. You understand me? We was in deep state racism. Bob Marley had done an interview on CBS television with Mike Wallace some years back. And that is only a bleed over from that. So when Ziggy Marley, 18 years old, that time Ziggy don't even start to lax yet. When the whole Bob Marley family came to Connecticut, that I brought to Connecticut to do that concert and that tour, the Hayward tour, that's the name of it. It's a tribute to Bob Marley. The police is not like the way it was right now, like the way it is right now. They kind of simmer down. In 1986, they didn't like Jamaican people. They didn't understand how we speak. They didn't understand and welcome our music. So I sold the concert out. There was at least 3,000 people because the club hold 3,500 people, and there was at least 3,000 people from 7 p.m. that evening inside the venue. And there was another probably 1,500. The fire department estimated to be 1,500 people still outside trying to get in. The police was not feeling that. You understand me? Those people that did not get into the concert, they didn't have any tickets. They wanted to pay at the gate. So I, as the promoter, I couldn't do any gate sale. I only do advance sale ticket. And even though I do it the right way, the police didn't care about that. They just want to interrupt progress of reggae music. They didn't like reggae music that time. They didn't know about reggae music. And that's all it was. So when Ziggy and Steven Sidella and all of them performing, the police them came because there was a guy videotaping the show illegally. You understand me? So Flash Garden, the one of the technical tour manager, saw this guy videotaping Ziggy Marley while he was performing without permission, and he told the guy to stop, and the guy would not stop. You understand? So Flash Garden told the guy that is either he stop or he got to leave the concert, or we got to take the video machine from him, give it back to him at the end of the show. Well, the guy didn't want to do that, so the guy started to shove Flash Garden. And when he pushed Flash Garden, it turned into a little misunderstanding. The police that was there, a big fat woman, she had to be about 200 pounds. I'm pretty sure Sky High remember her. She was the main one that causes and incite that little skirmish and riot, right, Sky?
I was using my rod to in her side. You know, so that's when
talk about it. You use your rod to stick her in the side, right?
yes, I was sticking her in her side to leg of Flash, you know. I was giant Flash underneath the stage, you know, and I was joking there, and two police come on the stage and hold my two on, you know, and take me off the stage, and by the time they take me, my bassman come beside and hold one of my hands from the police, and just flash off the police and flash off the next time, go in the dressing room, take out Ziggy Marley and Melody Maker, jump in the van and head to the hotel, you know. That's what happened to me that night. Yeah.
So at that point, Copeland Forbes.
Police,
yeah. So at that point, Copeland Forbes was the tour manager, and Addis from Africa was the manager, right? So Copeland intervened and says, listen, It's illegal what you guys doing.
Yes, that was yeah,
So they tried to lock up Copeland. And I said to the police, you can't lock up Copeland Falls because he is the tour manager and he done nothing. The police look around at me, the same police who I hire. I am the one who hired them to be there.
Yeah.
The girl look at me and say, who is you? I said, I am the promoter. She says,
Right.
you is the one we want. And she grabbed me.
Oh my
I
God.
mean, she grabbed me like Hulk Hogan, dragged me
boy.
outside the venue,
Oh boy.
tossed me in the black police truck with at least 40 more people that they already pushed into it. And they
Oh,
drove me and all of these concert goers into a place called Keeney Park, like 12 o'clock in the night. Very, very dark. I heard them says outside, we was inside in the police truck. We should kick those Jamaican, you know what? And I heard one of them, I don't know if they was joking, we should all shut them.
Oh,
That's what they said. So I wasn't panicking. The rest of people say, oh, they're gonna kill us because racism was very high. So they left us.
Put you.
That-
Don't put you. You know, one of the police, one of the guys tell us that get beaten. Him say the police push him face down in the ground and rub it and say, do you like reggae music? And rub him face in the ground till the face gone red.
oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the police them was outside Fanso. And they're saying these are nothing but punks because let me tell you, half of the people was there was white rastas from up in Vermont, New Hampshire, you name it. You understand me? And I heard the police keep saying these white trash are reggae lovers. They are Jamaican lovers. Let's shut them. Nothing will come of it. So they turned off the truck engine and they left. We didn't hear any more sound after that, right? They left and we was there for 2 hours in Keeney Park in the morning, like 1 o'clock. Then they came back and drive us down to Morgan Street, downtown Hartford. That's where the police station was at the time. And we was there, even when we was in the police station, we hear them talking like they want to kill us. And then Sky High, Ziggy Marley came and I heard the police captain say, could you believe this? There is this long, nutty, dread-looking Jamaican talking about it's Bob Marley's son. Let's lock them up too. I didn't know it was Sky High and Ziggy at the time, but it was Sky High they was referring to as the Natty Dread.
Right.
You know,
yeah.
so Sky could tell you more of his conversation with those police. Meanwhile, we was sitting inside.
Right, Sky High, over to you.
No, that's one of the journey. You see, that's on the road. That's what the road is. That's how the journey is more time. You know.
Right.
We have rest have a different appearance in the world. So when we step in the world from our little highland where we rise, Jamaica, you see, it starts from there. You see, and then we step in the world. That's where it is again. You understand? We have to stand up with the head bold, you know, because we know we are Africans and we know the journey we stand for and we don't bow, you know. So anywhere we go, so we have to stand up firm, you know. And from the take on, you get to yourself. Your God between yourself. Your God is yourself. First, I take on your God between yourself. You see, remember, when I am youth, I get a lot of beaten up. I get beaten because I'm dreadlocks and the police beat me up. The thumb police beat me up. Broke out, you see, push a gun and I'm in knee. I know me feel all those hurt in my knee more time and night time. And my lady after rub my knee sometimes, you understand? Because the police take gun jamming on my foot all the years ago. And that about 40 odd years ago, I'm still feeling it now, same way. So the journey never stops, you know, it don't time, you know. The cooling of the journey is when we get back ourselves and chat back to the coast of Africa. We should have one leader in Africa. When you chat forward to Africa and hold back our journey, you see, that's where the whole journey is, you know. The children, the grandchildren, the great grandchildren, them come and decide to take back the journey because the whole hell is on earth, you know, and heaven is on earth. You understand? Hell and heaven is on earth.
Right.
You know,
No one
after that incident, 2-3 days after that, they run it on CNN, CBS, ABC, NBC TV for 1 week straight. They have my picture on the national TV. Who is this guy who bring Bob Marley family and children to Hartford? The FBI came to me at least 15 times questioning me, how the heck you get to bring Bob Marley children? Who are you? And they want to know all kind of things. So
Right. But
Ziggy do a
I
song.
been through
Ziggy do a song
Bill.
after that incident called Reggae Revolution.
Ziggy Marley did that song, right? About that incident, right?
Yes, about that same incident that night.
Doesn't know what I've been to build the music for them in Connecticut, where today I find a lot of them jealous, envious about my journey in the music. But I'm wondering if they are jealous of the fact of the things that I went through like that night. If they are willing to go through the agony that I went through that night, if they're willing to jealous for that too. People shouldn't jealous of people unless they're willing to jealous of the pain and agony and the suffering that you goes through to reach the level where you reach musically, And that's how I look at it, in this Black History Month. It's just history. The only great thing come out of it with me is that every year the Chamber of Commerce in Connecticut award me Lifetime Achievement Award for doing that concert every single year. So
yeah.
that's a good thing,
And for those who just joining us on the live on Facebook, and on those who are listening to us live on UVC as well, I am Fonso Black, and I'm talking to Sky High, the Malma, alongside R.D. Cuban, legendary promoter, and we are discussing Black history alongside reggae. We're going inside, behind the big stories of the biggest stories. Now with Sky High, he's also known as the Mali's personal security. Through immigration, through the plains, people would have seen him with his rod wherever he went. On the bus, on the tour bus, on stage, you would see him with his rod. Now
it's not just a rod, Fonso. Fonso is not just a rod. That is still a CI rod. And when Sky High juke the police with it, lightning and thunder roll.
Absolutely. Now, Sky High would have had Sky High would have had some accidents, because what we want to get to really is to find out from Sky High himself. Because listeners, can you place yourself in this situation, right? Heritage that it's a big show, right? It's a big concert. People are eager to see the Marleys. They're on stage, ready to shake, just to get a glimpse or get to have a touch. And here goes Sky High with a rod, and is able to give protection to those artists. Sky High, how did you do it all? Tell us, tell the listeners out there, right, on Facebook, UVC, how did you do it with a rod?
Well, the guidance of the Most High, that guide I, pretty guy. That's what it is, because my rod is like a part of me, and I mean, for many years. Yeah, my rod, people believe say I travel with gun at that time. No, it's my rod. I walk with my rod. So many people afraid of my rod. I'm into all rolling stone paper, me and Ziggy. I said, the man with that rod, be careful of the man with that rod. Because with the Mali just rising on her own, after we lay back to rest, 1981, I start tour with Rita Marley all over the world, One Jaw, song called One Jaw, we tour. Yes, then we bring the children, them, Ziggy Marley, Melody Makers, after so bring them sometime on the tour until they grow, So that's what it is. So I am my rod, with sometimes a few more security on the road, but travel with them right through. Is I and my rod assist them. You see that take up, push off crowd, bring with the Mali on stage, I would come on the show and there's a lot of people on the stage, you see, and I have to use my rod and push off a lot of them and get the stage ready for Rita Marley, you know. So
At one point, I didn't want Sky High to ride on the airplane with the rod.
eh? I did you play with the rod. Yeah, man. One time in Puerto Rico, man, and police don't want me to carry my rod on the airplane, man, and I said my rod have to be with I on the plane. You see, yeah, my rod not going on underneath the plane. My rod is my rod. The immigration, them, and yes, there's a doctor in the line, and when you see that I'm not going to give away my rod to them and put it on the immigration want to take the jail, that man coming in front of me and tell the immigration said, I am his doctor. You have to have his rod. You have to have his rod. I am his doctor. Yes, that's all. I don't go to jail that night. I'm not that day. I'm not giving my rod, and they have to take me to jail. Yeah. So here come a policeman. So policeman come back in the plane and said, man, I know what you as a Rasta man. You see, I have to stand up for you. Yeah. I know they're gonna put you in jail. They're ready to put you in jail. And you're not giving that rod up. I know that. So it would cause a big fight, and you would be the loser. So he come and save me, son. So all those things. So my rod was a special rod over the years, you know, until I stopped carrying my rod around early 90s still. Mm-hmm.
Definitely. Now the journey doesn't just stop here with Sky High, the Malmo. It doesn't stop here, Facebook. It doesn't stop here, UVC listeners. Sky High, the Rastaman, he was blessed. He was one of the person who walked through the doors of Selassie in Ethiopia. Now, Ethiopia, again, is the land. Now, at this point, I would like to ask Rocco to play this song called Sky High. Lalabella, and it's a represent Ethiopia. And after the song, we're going to talk more about his experience meeting His Majesty.
All right, we're gonna talk to the people in the meantime.
Right. So obviously, this song, you know, I mean, it is a true representation of Ethiopia. Ethiopia, of course, you know, I mean, is one of the places. It is the beginning. It is the beginning of civilization, and
the Reggae of civilization.
Exactly. Yeah. You know what I mean? So this song, you know what I mean, we need our listeners to listen to it keenly, and of course, Sky High will be telling us this interesting story. La Bella.
Yes, sir.
And of course, you
All
just
right
heard
then.
Lala
And of course, you
Bella.
just heard
Yes, you just heard Lala Bella. Yes, folks, listeners.
Bella.
Now, of course,
Yes.
you could always follow Sky High the Mau Mau on Instagram, Facebook. He has his record label called Sky High the Mau Mau, and he's been producing music for many years. Sky High, what is the meaning of Lala Bella? Because I'm not sure, and I'm sure quite a few of our listeners may not know.
Lala Bella. Yes, Lala Bella. You see, in Hudson, there's a church there where there's seven church together that made out of the rock. Yeah. And so Lala Bella is one of those is that era. So the church, so those leaders, those son Lala Bella mean is where the ark of the covenant. They said it right now. It is, you know. So Lala Bella is really one of those Asian civilization place in Ethiopia. So that's one of the foundation country. That's one of it, you know. And there's other part of it, but that's my journey of it, you know.
Right. And on the note of Black history, we could see that Ethiopia is very important in our history as Black people, because like Sky High just mentioned, that's where the Ark of the Covenant is being held in Ethiopia. Now, along your journey, because the journey, people, it's the journey. It's only just getting started. Along your journey, you met His Majesty, King Selassie from Ethiopia. How did it all happen?
No, I never met His Majesty.
But you visited his you visited his place.
Yeah, I visited His Majesty Palace.
Palace, yes.
In Ethiopia, yes.
Right. What was that? What was that like?
Hmm?
What was that experience like?
that experience is part of my outer experience of life within myself in the physical. You know, is His Majesty Palace. I even went into His Majesty Treasury. His Majesty's Treasury. We are just a handful of people in the world. I went there. Me and Bob Marley family, like 7 sons of Bob Marley, and wife and his ladies, daughters, them, you know, a handful of us, into the treasury. You know, so those experiences is what keep my knowledge and keep my memory and physically liberty to charge forward to Africa as my original place. So that's the reason why Africa is my journey, because that's all the journey I know growing up, you know. And I tried Africa many times by myself and by the Marley family then. So that's my foundation, you know.
And I could just only put myself in that situation, and to walk into the palace of His Majesty. I suppose, you know, I mean, the energy that you felt was tremendous. Words can't even explain, isn't it?
Yeah, man. It's that chapter was fire. It was heavy, man. And those chapters again, I have 2 books right now. One release right now named Life Journey, a photo book. Sky High Be Mau Mau. So check on that book on Amazon and Sky High Ma website and Barnes and Nobles, book babies, yeah. So the next one called Life is a Journey, soon be out, which is an autobiography. So that's what the journey is again, you know. The traveling of the world, you know. But Ethiopia is my journey, is my number 1 journey, but I travel the 3/4 of the world, you understand? Yeah.
Now, in 2016, the world saw the last appearance of a great legend. And we're talking about Bunny Wailer, right? And that show was promoted by a man who is right here with us in studio, the Cuban. In 2016, the last we saw of him in the physical. the Cuban, take us on that journey when you left and went to pick up Bunny Wailer in his hotel room. What happened when you walked in that hotel room, went inside? What happened?
All right, before I tell you about Bunny Wailer, I have to tell the listening audience globally today that I believe that I am very much blessed because I get a privilege to work with Peter Tosh throughout his whole journey in the music since 1978. I've been putting Peter Tosh on stage to perform right up until his last concert on Earth. And of course, you know that I put Bob Marley on stage twice to perform. And then the last living Wailing Wailers at the time, original Wailing Wailers, Bunny Wailer, in 2016, I got a call before 2016 from Bunny Wailer manager, Maxine Stowe. And she asked me to assist her into planning Bunny Wailer tour in United States. So I called Robbie. He's from Africa, my good friend, great booking agent. I called Robbie and I put the whole idea to Robbie. And Robbie was very happy to be part of the planning of that tour. So I instrumentally helped Robbie to plan the entire United States tour because I know promoters all around United States, all around the world. So that makes it much easier was to book a Bunny Wailer tour, you know. So when Bunny got to Hartford, the 29th of April was my concert, 2016. I went over the hotel to pick him up in my car to drive him to the radio station to do the interview, to let the people know that he was in Hartford, Connecticut. Myself and Copeland Forbes went together. So we knock on Bunny hotel room door and he see somebody. We all see somebody peeking through that little peek hole. We
Right.
didn't know it was Bunny. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Copeland was saying, is that Maxine peeking? Don't Maxine recognize who we are? So finally the person had the chain on the door and he opened it like a hinge. And we see one eye looking out at us. And he said, oh, it's the eye them. And he opened the door. He
Right.
opened the door and let us in, myself and Copeland. When
Yes.
we walk into the room, Bunny have a big silver looking pot made out of cast iron.
Wow.
Cooking, cooking, you know.
Mm.
And when we look deeper at the pot, I never seen a pot, Copeland never see a pot like that in our life. The pot have 2 inches welded onto it and a padlock to lock the pot. So Copeland turned to Bunny and said, Jabi, why does your pot have a padlock on it? Bunny looked at at Copeland Farms and said, let me tell you something. We went to school together. I'm going to teach you something. If Bob Marley and Peter Tosh was doing this, they would be right here beside me today. And we all start laughing. But he didn't laugh. Bunny didn't laugh. He was very serious about it.
Right.
Yeah, he was very, very serious about it. And he told us about a song, a Wailing Wailers song that they did that is very special to him, you know, small acts. You understand me? For I think it was Scratch Perry, he said he did it for, and he tell us the reason why Wailing Wailers. You remember that, Sky?
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. I was around when that song doing too. You do a Brandy's downtown there.
And they did Duppy Conqueror. Those are the 2 songs he was explaining to Copeland about. I don't know why he just bring it up. And Copeland begin to ask him, then why Duppy Conqueror? He says, well, there's a graveyard somewhere in Spanish Town. And they was daring each other to go into the graveyard at midnight. Nobody wants to go, especially Peter Tosh. Copeland said, why Peter didn't want to go? He said, because Peter Tosh scared of ghosts.
Right. Yeah. I see
Yeah,
ya.
Peter Tosh was very scared of ghosts.
Right.
The big rebel Peter Tosh, he wasn't scared. Bunny say he wasn't scared of gunman. He wasn't scared of Babylon. But he was scared of ghosts
Ghost.
right up until the last day. So we just make a big laugh about that.
Yes.
So it was historical, and I am very privileged to able to work with all 3 of the Wailing Wailers. But I must also pass on to you that even though I says to you that Bunny was the last of the Wailing original Wailers, I have to correct that because there is still one original Wailing Wailer still alive and live in the Bronx, New York. And I know your ears and your eyes must be popping and say, what the heck Cuban talking about? Yeah, there is one there that's still, if she's a female, and Sky supposed to know who I'm talking about. So there was 2 female original Wailing Wailers. And you also have Vision Walker. He passed away. When you look at Peter Tosh video, you will see Vision Walker in those live videos, live concert that Peter did. And you have Junior Brantwaite. Am I right?
I'm still alive.
He's still alive, right? Yeah. So you see, no, you learn something new about the Wailing Wailers today, and the world learn something that they don't write about online or in the books or in the library. You're hearing it directly
Of
myself,
course.
Sky High, who is directly involved with Wailing Wailers.
Of course. Now,
So
early
that's
on,
how the story goes, and it's just
right. So early on, we've
go
been
ahead,
talking
Fanson.
about, yes, early on, we've been talking about life journey, Sky High. He produced a book, right? And of course, yes, one is coming after. You'll be hearing more about that, how to be able to access a copy. You know, I mean, all about that in a minute. But before we get into that, we're going to play a song again produced by Sky High. It's called Life Journey. You know, I mean, another production from Sky High, the Mama, and I urge you, Sky High, the Mama. Life is a journey, right? Life is a journey. Now, exactly. Now I urge people to, you could follow him on Facebook, Instagram at Sky High, the Mau. There is so much information. And
we're gonna get into the track right now.
Pardon?
All right, let's get into the track.
We're gonna get into that track now. Life is a journey by Sky High, the Mau. Life is a journey.
New York journey, England journey, China journey, Japan journey, Africa journey, America journey, life is a journey, it's a journey, life is a journey. As I rise in the morning, I see the sun shining, I give you all the praises. In the day when the day goes down, guide us through all this tribulation, oh Jah, protect us. Lord is a journey, is a journey.
And if you're going to the east, and if you're going to the west, and if you're going to the north, and if you're going down south, life is a journey. Life is a journey. And if you try you poor, or if you're black or you white, or you live in love, or you live in strife, life is a journey. It's a journey. Life is a journey.
Life is a journey. Life is a journey. Life is a journey. It's a journey. Oh Jah, I pray thee in our going out and our coming in. Protect like now, oh Jah, our destination in this earth, in this tradition of life. We know that life is a journey. Oh Jah, we pray thee that in this tribulation, this fulfillment of time, let our children be stand. Let children understand right from wrong. Oh Jah, eternality of life stand. We all know that life, oh Jah, is a journey that we all have to go through, good or bad. But in the vision of time, journey has no ending. Oh Jah, journey has no ending. Now. Journey has no ending. No. Life is a journey. No. It's a journey. Jah, New York journey, England, China, Japan, Africa, America,
I tell you, good people,
All right.
listeners.
We're
I
back.
tell you, good people, good Horizon listeners, wherever you are in the world, Africa, Caribbean, Europe, England, United States of America. Of course, you just heard the song by Sky High, the Mau Mau Life is a Journey. Now, like I said, there is a book that has been published, Life Journey. Now, you would have heard some of the stories that this Rastaman had trod this earth. He had trod this earth extensively, you know what I mean? From Africa, Europe, Caribbean, he's been around. So, therefore, I tell you, we're now going to learn how we could get a copy of that special book called Life Journey. What are some of the platforms that people out there, if they want to get a hard copy, Sky High, how can we get the book?
Sky High, it's a Sky High Ma website. It's a Book Baby, Barnes and Nobles, Amazon.
Right.
Yeah, Amazon, yeah.
Well, you heard it, you get it on Amazon, folks. So I urge our listeners to get a copy because it would be a reading that you would not regret because you heard part of his story. And what you're hearing there on Facebook now is just a small part of his journey, treading the earth right across. Yeah. Are the Cuban? Yes. What are your thoughts on I suppose what are your thoughts on this book, Are the Cuban?
Anything that Sky High touch is a blessing. You understand? And he have the history. Sky High have the history, long history, just like myself. So Sky High speaking about his book, then I'm going to tell you something about another book. There's a book coming out by Copeland Forbes by the name of Reggae, My Life. And that book features my story about 1986 when I brought Ziggy Marley, Stephen Marley, Sidella Marley, Sharon Marley, Rita Marley, Bob Marley mother, Nadine Sutherland 809 band to Hartford, Connecticut to perform. And I'm very happy that I'm featured in that book that is about to come out, which will be at all of the book platform. But also, Roger Stephens, the chairman of the Grammy Award, we are talking right now where he's going to write a full-fledged book about my journey in the music. And also, I'm having conversation with you, Fanso Black, about you getting the privilege to write a story, a book about myself. Yes. So I'm sharing that with the world today, where I'm giving you the full okay to write a full book on me. Well, you know, a lot of people, you know, Sky, had called me, visit me to write my story. But I tell all of them, I have to think about it very serious, Sky, if I should write a book, because I know if somebody gonna write a book and tell my story, I have to tell the truth. And because I know I have to tell the truth, that's why I hesitate about anybody writing a book about me, because my story just do not revolve around Peter Tosh, Bob Marley, Jimmy Cliff, and those legends. It revolves around many dancehall artists and their story. I would have to tell the truth, Sky. Their stories, many of them, their stories is not positive story that I see with my eye, especially with drugs. Especially with the use of drugs, because I would have to implement that in the story. What I see with my eyes and how much of them I encourage away from drugs. And I don't want to really hurt their family and their fans by telling the truth, because there is one artist, you know, Sky High Fanso Black in New York City that was performing with Marcia Griffiths, that I was part of the promotion. At Radio City Music Hall. And when they call the artist out on stage, the artist was high on coke. That time there wasn't free basing, there was sniffing. And the artist stripped his clothes off when he went on stage, live in front of the people.
Wow.
A
Yes.
journey, man. Yeah, man. So, man, reach to that journey, man. Yeah.
Promoted. And when the artist went on stage in Hartford, Connecticut at the Caribbean Club, he pulled his pants down, stripped it off, sweating. And yet he wasn't hot. All because of hard drugs. And I would have to tell that story. So when I do the book with Roger Stephen and yourself, Fanso, I will not tell that part of the story. You understand me? I would
Right.
never tell that part. I don't think I should. You know? So I will tell the story about the conscious artists that grows positive output, you know?
Definitely. Thank you for
Yeah,
that.
so Reggae My Life is gonna be the book that Copeland Forbes is producing about his journey. But because Copeland Forbes was involved in 1986 in
Right.
the Hayward tour, Copeland put my story of what we spoke about today in that book.
Yes.
So I'm very honored, you know. Sky High, you just don't know how
Yes.
proud I am of you. I am so proud of you, and I want to tell you live on the radio because over 40 years I'll never tell you that. You know, I am very proud of you. One of the reasons is you never see people and pass them and not heal them up. You understand me? And the next thing I'm proud of you about is your humbleness towards the culture, towards the music, you know? I am very proud of you for that. You never change all these years around Bob Marley and everybody else. I've never seen you change. The last time I saw you was in Bridgeport, Connecticut, when we did that concert down there with Nas, Junior Gang Marley, Jimmy Cliff. You remember, right? Jimmy Cliff hugs you and hugged me backstage, you know. But, you know, when Junior Gang was just a baby, it was Sky High that was on the road with him before anybody else ever heard about him or know him. And I brought that concert to the Webster Theater in Connecticut. Junior Gang was just a young guy. He didn't even do the song Welcome to Jam Rock yet. So me and Sky, we have a lot of history, fans. A lot of history, meaningful history.
Because so, man, it's true.
Now,
Yeah.
It's true.
I tell you one more.
Yes.
Rita Marley, Sky told you about the song One Draw
Yes.
that Rita Marley did. There's a part in that song called The Way Go. That's Grub Cooper, the drummer for Fabulous Five band voice you heard in that song, you know. But when Rita Marley did the Harambe tour, they called me again to promote that concert. So I've been in the Marley's life from 1975. Today, I am now putting Bob Marley grandchildren on stage to perform. So it's a long journey.
Definitely. Now,
Exactly.
to understand that is to reflect a song that was done by Sky High. Are we talking about living in a suitcase? That obviously, you've heard his story. Traveling from country to continent, traveling the world. And this song reflects here, living in a suitcase. So when we finish listening to that song, Sky High will be telling us a bit more about that journey, about his life. Take it away, Rocco. Living in a Suitcase by Sky High, the Mama.
All right. We got about 17 minutes. Time go by so quickly. All right, I'm gonna get this song in quickly.
And of course, Facebook.
Right.
We show you love, more love for listening to all our fans, all our Facebook listeners, and then UVC as well. Don't forget. This one is
You're listening to UBC Radio, the sound of Thanksgiving.
by Sky High, the Mama.
Anyone living on
You want to understand more about him? Check him out. Follow him on Facebook, Instagram. Yes, Sky High, the Mama.
far and wide. You and me, different walks of life. Yeah, have a good time when they come to show. Yeah, I know what it's all about. And forever, reality's there, and jolly get there. They go ways. I'm living out of suitcases. I'm living out of suitcases. I'm living out of suitcases. Cause my life is on the road. All my life is on the road. I'm living out of suitcases. I'm living out of suitcases. I'm living out of suitcases. Cause my life is on the road. I'm a traveler. I'm dreaming. Too many colors. Driving buses to the other. From hotel to show. People got to feel happy, enjoy themselves. You're the one that feels to come. And we love them and they love us, 'cause it's how we love you.
UVC Radio.
And that one was called Living in a High. What does living in a suitcase? Living out of suitcase. What does it mean for you?
Yes, I'm on the road traveling for many years. I travel with Burning Spear, I travel with Rita Marley, I travel with Siggy Marley, Melody Makers, I travel with Kenasa, you see, I travel with Damian Marley, Junior Gang, Adnona Junior Gang, I travel with Julian Marley. So I travel the world, I travel, you see, by even myself, alone, in certain ways. But I travel, so living out of suitcases, that's what it is, cause which I travel with a suitcases or two suitcases. So I have to be from your yard to the airport, from the airport to the plane, from the plane back to another country, to hotel, from hotel to venue, back to hotel, on the road again. Just so keep traveling for many years, because my journey is on the road, until I just take a little break right now for a while. But the journey is on the road right now.
Definitely. Well, guys, I must say it has been a very interesting conversation talking to Sky High, the Mau Mau, along with the Cuban. But time doesn't permit us to continue because time is just so short when we're having exciting fun and giving stories, such like revealing the story behind the story of this great Rastaman trotting the earth. And of course, the Cuban as legendary promoter, promoting reggae music from 1975. Now, before we leave, I just want to, is there any last words that you would like to let your listeners or your fans know? Sky High.
Love the fans all over the world, no matter what skin color, race is. Appreciate everyone and respect. Come together. Yeah, come together, live in love and harmony. I'm a Sky High, the mama, which said, Rasta man passing by.
Right, and if people
respect for the fans, man. Yes.
And if people want to contact you, Sky High, what's the best way that they could contact you?
Yes, contact me on Sky High Ma website. Sky High and Sky High Bimama Facebook, Sky High Bimama Instagram, Hartnell Henry Facebook also, my real name, yeah.
Right.
Journey.
Over to you, the Cuban. What are your last thoughts? What are your last words to your fans out there, the Cuban?
Well, since it's Black History, Bob Marley, Dennis Brown, Reggae Month, it is only right that I leave them with a educational purpose about our music, right? Sky High earlier mentioned about Buffalo Soldier, and everybody knows Bob Marley did that song, but they don't know the reason why Bob Marley did that song. Buffalo Soldier is because when they shipped the slaves from the Ivory Coast of Africa, especially out of Ghana, into Jamaica, the Caribbean, Panama. After the slaves was settled, our ancestors were settled in Jamaica. They sold off a portion of them, sent them to United States, to Savannah, Georgia, Macon, Georgia, North and South Carolina, Richmond, Virginia. Those set of slaves was referred to as the Buffalo Soldier who built the Empire State Building, those subways with the Chinese, even the White House. Even the White House, White Stone Bridge, that was built by the Buffalo Soldier. Those Buffalo Soldier that Bob Marley talking about, those are the ancestors and our brothers and sisters you now call Black American. And the Polytrickston trick them, tell them that they are Afro-American. They are actually Jamaican people. Hence, coming out of Africa via Jamaica into America. That is how the Black American congregate into America. They are the Buffalo Soldier, real Jamaicans.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Rastaman Sky High, the Mau Mau, and legendary promoter R.D. Cuban, for taking time out of your busy schedule for being here right on Facebook Live on UVC Radio. We want to leave with this song by Sky High, Rastaman Passing Through. Once again, thank you so much for passing here, and it has been a pleasure, and it's great talking to both you guys. We've learned so much from you. Take it away, King Rocco, Rastaman passing.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, Sky.
Yes. Rastaman passing through.
We're still live on Facebook, yeah?
Yeah, you can cut it up now.
I'm allowed the song to play out. They don't end the Facebook stream.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you're up here. You're not on the radio. I think you guys up here. Let's stream it live.
Of course, Facebook, we want to take this opportunity to thank you for joining us. You know, I mean, it's a pleasure. You know, I mean, always talking to those great icons. You know, I mean, people who have trod this earth, people who know the history, and it's always a pleasure to bring on. You know, I mean, people like the Cuban, the promoter, the one who promoted reggae music, who took reggae music from Jamaica to the shores of the United States of America. And like we heard from Sky High, the Mau Mau, the man who's toured the earth, you know what I mean, who's been around quite so much, so often. And now he's just working on his book. He just released a book called Life Journey. You heard about it. And of course, you could get your hard copy on Amazon. It's quite interesting. I think you should get a copy. Definitely, I'm getting my copy, so you should get your copy.
Definitely been a pleasure being with you guys this evening on Facebook. We're definitely going to take a leave from you guys. Please share the stream around. All right, support the Fiery Zone. You know, it's a great platform. You know what I'm saying? Great entertainment and stuff like that. We got Sky Eye, the Mau Mau, and the legendary promoter, the Cuban, and the superstar Fonso Black. Please share the stream around, guys. Good evening, good morning, wherever you guys are listening to us from right now. We definitely appreciate the time that you guys take to listening. I want to acknowledge the man Toughest live on Facebook in the mix.
Big up to Toughest. You know, I've been true representation of reggae. You feel me? Lula la. You know?
All right. I'm going to stop the stream right now. Take good care, good people.
Take care.